Here's what sucks. And I'm going to keep it quiet because I just totally jacked my one kid's tablet. I don't want him to wake up and know I have it. But this is what sucks. When you don't start wondering on your own, what the hell is your soul? And what's it actually made of? Until you start wondering stuff like that, you can't even imagine that there's actually a whole established spiritual community who are out here not being talked about, that can talk to your oversoul for you and give you some answers, because there's a lingo and a language with the spiritual community, as with all communities, and it is very common knowledge among the spiritual community that not only are starseeds and indigos very real, but there is very much so millions of people walking around here right now with two souls. And it's not even a big friggin' deal in the spiritual community. Nothing is really a big deal once you understand spirituality and you understand how to fix your problems. This is Natasha Bailey. She does entity cleansings and all kinds of stuff.
Hey Starseed, do you have a Nephilim soul attached to you that's preventing you from healing? If so, stick to this video and find out what the hell is going on. I'm Natasha Bailey from Soul Mission, where I work with starseeds and light workers who are struggling to ground their mission into physical reality. And I help you by removing your multidimensional blocks so you can finally fulfill your purpose here on this planet. Now, as part of our journey, we sometimes come in with extra soul mission contracts. So I've spoken previously in other videos about having a primary soul mission and a secondary soul mission. So your secondary soul mission is the mission where you're of service to others, but you also have a primary soul mission where you are learning certain lessons for your soul, for your ascension in this life. Now, I have started coming across people who have a Nephilim soul attached to them. And this is causing them a lot of problems on their journey. So I'm going to explain what is a Nephilim soul and how you can go about healing that aspect and moving forward in life. So a Nephilim soul is a soul that was of a dark energy vibration that decided to attach to a starseed in this lifetime in order to learn, grow, heal, and raise its vibration. Now, normally these souls have an 11 or lesser DNA strand to them. And they are looking to gather the 12 strands of DNA with them, and also to transmute any negative energies, distortions that they have within them. So some of you have contracts where you've agreed to take on board this extra soul for healing and for upgrading. Now, what are some of the symptoms that you might have a Nephilim soul attached to you? Well, first of all, if you are an indigo type 3, that's starseeds born in the 90s and the noughties, the millennials, you are more likely to have this type of soul contract. And that's something that you agreed to. However, I wouldn't preclude other indigos from having this situation. You know, I'm aware of one indigo that had a walk-in Nephilim soul that attached to her. So just because you're not born in the noughties and 90s doesn't mean that this situation is relevant to you. Okay, So what are some of the symptoms? Some of the symptoms are you feel that there are certain feelings, thoughts, and behaviors going on inside of you that don't quite feel like you. Maybe you feel that there's a certain smile that comes on your face that feels kind of negative, or you have other sensations in your body that feel not yours, that don't feel like they belong to you. Also, it can mean that you might have feelings of panic. You might feel inside that there is a conflict between two energies, or maybe that you have two identities, two personas inside you. So that might be an indication that you have a Nephilim soul. The other thing I've noticed in my experience as a healer is some people come to me and they've done loads and loads of healing work, but still their situation hasn't changed. And despite getting some of the higher level healings and clearings, like the matrix unplugging session, the chakra unification and kundalini removal session, the entity removal sessions, they're not making progress. And I realized that basically all the healing work has been directed at your soul, and that the Nephilim soul also requires healing. So it's important to also do healing on the Nephilim soul, and you can ask it questions. You can ask its higher self questions as to what it needs. But basically, it is in a way using your body in order to work through some of its own traumas, problems, and issues. And this is different to entity removals or entity beings. Yes, it's an entity of its own, but this is a divine mission where you are helping it to integrate polarizing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Because your own soul is of a much higher vibration, it can hold the space for this other Nephilim soul. So it's really important that we do healing on the Nephilim soul as well as your own soul. Now, I know there are some people out there who practice removing the Nephilim soul. I am not a fan of this. I don't agree with this, because I do believe that we are given these missions or tests in life for a reason. And I do believe that those who have been given this particular mission will, through the process of healing the Nephilim soul that's embodied within their body, by going through that process, you are going to be able to share your knowledge, your experience from going through that healing process, and that you can share with others. Because basically what you're doing is you're helping that soul, and you also help the rest of the world come out of polarity, which is a 3D issue, black and white thinking, right versus wrong, us versus them, separation from others. So this is going to be excellent for you as a potential healer in the long term. By going through this process, you can help others. So I don't recommend Nephilim soul removal. I recommend that you embrace it and you go through the healing process with it to help it integrate and release its.
So yeah, this indigo angel I've been watching, she and her, friends group, they are so spiritually advanced. I'm just really getting my bearings with the whole spiritual awakening thing, and a lot of these things people are saying kind of still sound foreign to me, and I'm getting my footing. So it's like I understand why a lot of people have no fucking clue what these people are trying to say. But, these people that know more put the star seeds and indigo numbers at about 500 million. Likely about 500 million. And then they all do acknowledge the Galactic Federation as being something that's real and really putting out information, coming from Arcturians and coming from Andromedans and Anshars, and oh yeah, there's a lot of things being silenced right now. The spiritual community doesn't really like them, though. They think that they are trying to pretty much collect everybody who wakes up and realizes what's going on and realizes that this all boils down to these gods and goddesses and extraterrestrials. And they're kind of trying to continue with the control of the narrative in some way. But yeah, the spiritual community definitely looks at people like that and thinks that they know that they're saying things that make sense. But, you know, the rest of the spiritual community is out here going, don't listen to that shit, though. Don't listen to it all the way. Because it's probably being controlled still. Yeah, this is the stuff that they're not talking about. If this is why everybody has all these mental disorders, because there are literally millions of people here, probably like me, probably carrying 2 freaking souls, and that's why they're getting called crazy. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna keep on insisting that I talk about it, because if my family can't understand what's going on here, and I'm just gonna look totally psychotic, and I've lost my job, and my life exploded, my old programming got ripped right out of me, and so much new programming came in, and I got overloaded, and okay, well, what the hell do I have to lose? I would like to bring awareness to this kind of stuff, because I think this kind of stuff is what's really destroying the whole freaking world here, and people in the spiritual community are going, yes, it is, it's true, all of it's true. Yeah, everything that you think is fake is probably not fake.